Welcome to our channel. Today we are going to study a topic in biology known as joints. We are going to study this topic with questions and answers for a better understanding. The first question we have here says, the place in human body where two or more bones articulate naturally is best described as dash. A. Joint. B. Limb. C. Xylem. D. None of the above. In this question, the correct answer is A. Joint. So a joint is a place in the body of a human being where two or more bones articulate or meet. The next question says, which of the following is the most movable joint in the body? A. Shoulder joint. B. Suture joint. C. All of the above. D. None of the above. In this question, the correct answer is A. Shoulder joint. A shoulder joint is one of the types of movable joints in the body, and studies have shown that this joint is highly movable. The next question says, a fluid that prevents friction at a joint is best described as dash. A. Cerebrospinal fluid. B. Synovial fluid. C. All of the above. D. None of the above. In this question, the correct answer is B. Synovial fluid. A synovial fluid is a fluid that lubricates the joints, and as this fluid lubricates the joint, it reduces or prevents any form of friction that can occur between bones at a joint. So if anything goes wrong in the synovial fluid concentration at a joint, definitely the joints will not be stable. The bones in the joints or the bones at the joint will not be stable, so they can rub each other. The next question says, a structure responsible for production of synovial fluid is called dash. A. Cartilage. B. Ligament. C. Synovium. D. None of the above. In this question, the correct answer is C. Synovium. So synovium is a structure that helps in production of synovial fluid. The synovium can also be called synovial membrane. So this structure plays a great role in production of synovial fluid, and if this structure is having problem or if anything goes wrong in synovium, definitely production of synovial fluid will be affected negatively. The next question says, the following are movable joints except dash. A. Hinge joints. B. Gliding joints. C. Pivot joints. D. Suture joints. In this question, the correct answer is D. Suture joints. Movable joints are those joints that allow bone movements. So we have many examples of movable joints. These movable joints are the hinge joints, the gliding joints, the pivot joint, etc. But suture joint is not a movable joint. Suture joint is immovable joints. The next question says, a bone is attached to another bone at a joint by an elastic tissue called dash. A. Ligaments. B. Tendon. C. Floating ribs. D. None of the above. In this question, the correct answer is A. Ligament. A ligament is an elastic tissue that helps in connecting one bone to another. So studies have shown that a bone is attached to another bone at a joint through the help of this tissue called ligament. And this ligament is very important because if something happens to it, definitely there can be a serious joint problem. So ligament ensures that a bone is attached to another bone without any problem. The next question says, a muscle is attached to a bone through dash A. Ligament, B. Tendon, C. Sternum, D. None of the above. In this question, the correct answer is B. Tendon. So this tendon is a structure that plays a great role at joints, and research have shown that the muscle is attached to a bone through the help of this structure known as tendon. The next question says, which of the following disorders is associated with joints? A. Tendonitis, B. Diuresis, C. Hepatitis, D. None of the above. In this question, the correct answer is A. Tendonitis. This tendonitis is one of the joints related problems. Tendonitis means inflammation of a structure known as tendon. If the tendon swells or gets inflamed, that condition is called tendonitis. So diuresis, hepatitis are not disorders associated with joint, but it is only this problem known as tendonitis is associated with joint, or is a joint disease. The next question says, the head of the humerus fits into the dash of the scapula. A. Glenoid cavity, B. Acetabulum, C. All of the above, D. None of the above. In this question, the correct answer is A. Glenoid cavity. So glenoid cavity is a hollow depression in which the humerus fits into. The head of the humerus looks like a ball. Humerus is a bone of the hand, and studies have shown that this humerus forms a joint with the scapula by fitting into an empty space or a cavity or a hollow depression known as glenoid cavity. The next question says, the head of the femur fits into the dash of the pelvic girdle. A. Glenoid cavity, B. Acetabulum, C. All of the above, D. None of the above. In this question, the correct answer is B. Acetabulum. Research have shown that femur is the longest bone in the body. In one of our videos, we have already treated skeleton. We are treating another part of the skeleton known as joints. This femur fits into an empty space or an empty environment within the pelvic girdle known as acetabulum. This acetabulum is serving as the socket that this femur fits into. So the femur fits into this acetabulum of the pelvic girdle to form a joint. The next question says, which of the following is found at the front of the humerus? A. Bicep muscle, B. Tricep muscle, C. Xylem, D. Phloem. In this question, the correct answer is A. Bicep muscle. Research have shown that there is a muscle known as bicep muscle. This bicep muscle is found at the front of the humerus. Following is found at the back of the humerus. A. Bicep muscle, B. Tricep muscle, C. Xylem, D. Phloem. In this question, The correct answer is B. Tricep muscle. Tricep muscle is a muscle that is found at the back of the humerus. It helps the humerus to function very effectively. It helps the joint formed by the humerus to function very effectively. The next question says, the muscles that show opposite effects naturally on a joint are said to be dash. A. Antagonistic. B. Symbiotic. C. All of the above. D. None of the above. In this question, the correct answer is A. Antagonistic. So, the muscles that show opposite actions naturally on a joint are regarded as antagonistic muscles. These muscles work in a way that if one of them is working, or if one of them is in action, the other muscle will relax. If the other one is relaxing, the other one is in action. If today is the first time you are watching our video, if this is the first time you are joining this channel, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel so that you can study other topics that we have treated in many of our videos.